Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make simple labels and buttons and some other UI elements in Monochrome framework. Let's get started. So any UI element in this framework is going to start with a prefix UI. So UI button, UI checkbox, UI label, blah blah blah. I suggest making pointers to object in this framework because it's going to be easier to pass them around later. So around like classes and stuff. So UI label equals new UI label. So let's talk about parameters. Every element has the constructor that takes in multiple parameters, but the first one has to be a pointer to the window always. It's a must. Others are optional. As you can see, like label has text, then it's going to be like font size and other stuff. It's optional. You can set them outside like this, label.set font name and blah blah blah, like other stuff. But the first parameter has to be window always. That's a must. Secondly, if you're gonna add the UI element to the window, you have to do window.add label, and you pass in the element as a parameter. That's always gonna be the same. So for the label, you can pass in multiple parameters like text. And there always has to be that L before the parameter of the text in this framework because it's a wide string. It's just like this because it is. So let's name it new label. Let's run this and see what happens. So we created a new label in the top left corner. Not quite, but like with some offsets. Every element has a default position and size, like a preview position size on it, so you don't have to enter all the parameters in the beginning to like set it everywhere. It's just going to preview the element like this. So let's change the font name to impact, font size to 18, and see what happens. Yeah, there, the font changed, the size changed. Yeah, but it's still there. Next, you can enter X position, Y position, width, and height. So in Visual Studio, if you press a comma in the constructor, it's going to give you tell you all the possible parameters. So you can click on other versions of constructors. So yeah, let's set the X position to window.get width over 2 and window.get height over 2. And keep in mind, if you're entering the X and Y position for this constructor, you have to enter the width and height too. So let's make width 240 and height, let's make it 60. So that's good. Let's run it and see. It should place, yeah. So the top left corner is going to be in the center. All right, let's talk about buttons now. UI button. First parameter is always has to be pointer to a window. Since we created in the last episode a window like with a pointer here and with the keyword new, so we can just pass in window like this. And let's do window.add button. It's gonna create a button in the top left corner. Yeah, it has like nice rounded corners. It becomes darker when you hover the mouse over it. It doesn't do anything when we click on it yet because, well, we haven't programmed it to do anything yet. So you can do, call it click me button. I like the font Verdana. It's good. Hello, Visual Studio. All right. There, font size 18. Well, let's keep it at that. It's gonna make it a little bigger. We don't have to enter all the parameters in the constructor for every element. We can do that outside like this button.set position. Let's make it 500, 100. And yeah, it's gonna place it somewhere here. Let's do 300. And then let's do button dot set width, make it 240, and set height, let's make it 30, and also let's change the font size to like 14 or something. Yeah, it became longer. Let's make it 180. Whoa, whoops, what just happened? Yeah, whoops, okay. I don't know what that was. What we can do also with buttons is button dot, I'll leave with labels too, and other elements like checkboxes, set rounded corners. So for rounded corners, they're two radii, x and y. So like how, yeah, you can set both of them. Yeah, radius x and radius y is how much they're stretched and like rounded on both axes, I guess. You can do like 6 for x and like 2 for y. Rounded corners for most UI elements that have like boxes, yeah, you see they're, yeah, it's like this now. You can set them to 16 and 12, for example. They're going to be super rounded. Yeah, so all rounded corners for UI elements that have them are set to true in the beginning. So our default is true, but you can also set them to false if you don't want to. Set rounded corners, and it's asking for a boolean. You can pass in false, and it's just gonna make a square. Yeah, like that. Well, but square is too old and ugly, so you can just do true. Nice and round. So yeah, you can also make sliders. I'm gonna show sliders in this episode too. As you remember, window as a parameter, window.add slider. So for example, if you forget to do window.add, it's gonna create an object. It's gonna set all the parameters. It's gonna allocate memory for it, but it's not gonna draw it. So what you gotta do is window.add and pass in your element. There you go. You can it doesn't do anything yet because well, we haven't programmed it to, but you can have event handlers for sliders, for buttons, and all that stuff. In the next episode, we're gonna talk about add mouse click and mouse down, while mouse down event handlers. So that's cool. Well, that's it for now. You can play around and with different elements in Monochrome, just see what they are. It's gonna pop them in the top left corner to preview with default position and default size. So you can just see, like, plug in window as a first parameter and then see what it looks like, and if you don't like it, you can choose another element. So yeah, that's it for today. We'll talk about event handlers in the next episode. Well, peace out.